So when we discuss personal finance, we're typically discussing things like investing, but I think it's also really important and interesting to consider how people organize their money on a day-to-day basis and what their financial setup is. Part of that is investing, but realistically, people are also using other accounts, whether it's savings account, high yields account, pension accounts, that also play into a financial portfolio. So today I'm going to run through my financial setup, what bank accounts I have, why I have them, and any changes I've made and changes that I might consider making moving forward. It's always interesting to look at what's out there. Obviously, there are many different financial accounts that you can sign up for, and banks often offer incentives if you switch over to them or open an account with them. So that's always something that's really interesting to look at. You can get cashback promotions, you can get better deals on the interest rates in your accounts. So higher interest rates means that you get back more money just from having cash in that account. So it's really important to consider these things. It's something that I return to every now and then. Obviously, there's a convenience cost to switching, but there could also be financial incentives. So that's something in particular that I'm always looking at. Looking at my setup, I have an HSBC account. It's something that I inherited from my parents, essentially. I didn't choose HSBC for a particular reason, but there are always variables to look at when selecting a bank. That said, I've used them for a long time, so it's just my default bank branch that I have. So with them, I have a regular cash, or in the US, I might call it a checking account, and that's where most of the money goes in and out in my account, and it's where I make all of my purchases. What I have secondary to that is a savings account. So this in particular was really helpful for me from a young age, especially when I went into boarding school and I was getting a little bit of an allowance to spend. That went into my savings account. I would transfer a budget into my spending account. Essentially, that's still how I do things. So I try to get paid into my savings account and then send myself or transfer myself a budget into my spending account. And it's just how I refer to those two things. It also helps me keep track on my day-to-day spend versus the larger in and out transactions that I have, which are my savings account. So those are the two main accounts that I have and the two main accounts that I check and that have money going in and out of them. The interest rate is pretty average. This has been a setup of convenience, so it's quite easy, particularly as I'm transferring quite often, to have both my regular savings and my regular spending account under one bank branch. I can go through that digitally. So the third bank account I have, and this is a recent addition as a year and a half ago, is that I opened up a high yield savings account. So there are loads of different accounts that you can look at. There are non-HSBC high yield saving account with much better interest rates. For me, the convenience factor, I was looking at what high yield accounts are on offer for me within the same bank. Mine is an online bonus saver, which means that if you don't withdraw any money from that account for that month, you get a certain percentage of interest. Obviously, it's higher than my savings or my regular spending / cash account. So it's something that I like to have on the side because of my budgeting setup with my spending and savings accounts. I have to transfer money quite often. I needed to have a separate account then to have high yields, given it's one of those accounts that you can't frequently withdraw from. And that's the case for a lot of fixed income accounts, which is something that you'll typically see, especially in the UK. So if you have your money in an account, sometimes it's locked for 6 months to 12 months, and you'll get a certain interest, or you'll have accounts like my online bonus saver, where you'll get the preferential interest rate so long as you don't withdraw money, but you can still withdraw money each month if you need to. So I like that flexibility. I didn't want to have a fixed income account where I'd have to put away, not be able to withdraw at all. So this still gives me a little bit of flexibility, but that does mean I lose out on maybe the higher percentage. It is something that I did investigate a little bit more and do some research on the sort of interest rates, but there are other factors at play, and that's what's helped me figure out. Then outside of that, I have a UK stocks and shares ISA. This is a super great investing account if you're residing in the UK. It means that you up to £20,000 per tax year tax-free, which is really great because in the UK otherwise you'd be paying capital gains tax. And within that, in that same bank, I have a SIPP, which is a pension account. Again, you can invest money through it. I choose to invest money through it. I tend to have more money invested in my stocks and shares ISA. Finally, I have a workplace pension. That's because I did an internship with Amazon earlier this year. So I opened up an account, and this is through Legal. It's a much smaller account because I only worked for a certain amount of time, but it does factor as a pension. So it just is another account that I have. I am considering in future changing it to my SIPP account, just to maybe have all my pension money in one pension account. I definitely don't want to have too many workplace pensions, but given that I am at the start of my career, right now I only have one. That said, I think I will consider either putting it into one pot to invest it all together, particularly if there aren't any transfer seeing maybe in a couple of years, if I move between companies, if I want to have a pot just for my workplace, so I don't have to manage too many, I don't want to lose passwords and etc. So I think it's great to have different accounts for different things. I know that that's hugely popular when it comes to budgeting, and it's something that I found really helpful, especially with having a savings and a spending account, and that's really helped me stay on top of budget and make sure that I'm saving and investing consistently. But then on the flip side there, I think you don't want to have too many accounts. For me, it's partially also just in terms of monitoring bank accounts. I do think it's important to be conscious of what money is coming in and what money is coming out, and then proactively managing the money that's in there. A balance I'd find of the two, but essentially this is my current setup that I have. I'm not going to be considering expanding to other bank accounts. I might consider switching out my online bonus saver for a high yield savings account with a different bank, but that's something I'm still yet to explore, especially as I like to invest most of my money and not have it in savings. So that's something that I'm still considering. Potentially as we move into the next year, I might choose to have a little bit more cash on hand. I've been a little bit more cautious when investing over the last few months. But that said, I think I'll stick to my current setup at least as I go into 2026.